Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is the all-new 2025 INFINITI QX80, a big luxurious 3-row SUV that takes square aim at the segment sales leader of the Cadillac Escalade. Does this $107,000 vehicle from INFINITI set a new bar for the brand, or does Cadillac have nothing to worry about? All that and more, stay tuned. This video is proudly brought to you by Mint Mobile. Are you currently in the market for a new vehicle but trying to find that extra little bit in the budget to make that next vehicle payment possible? Well, Mint Mobile can absolutely help you with that on your mobile wireless bill. If you're like me, starting a new business or trying to afford a new vehicle that is just out of reach, Mint Mobile can help you save on your wireless bill to help reallocate those funds elsewhere. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month. Yes, just $15 a month. You can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network for just $15. You can even bring your own phone along with your current phone number and existing contacts. Nothing is sacrificed. You can absolutely just move over, cut your payments so that you can afford things elsewhere. Mint Mobile offers the same fast, reliable, premium wireless service as other providers. Switching to Mint is super easy thanks to the digital eSIM cards, which most phones like the new iPhone 16 Pro and 16 have. You can activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. If your phone does not have an eSIM, Mint Mobile will ship you a SIM card for free. If you want to save a little money without any sacrifice, find different ways to spend that money, you can absolutely visit the link in the video description below so that you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Huge thanks to Mint Mobile. Now let's get back to our video review. First things first with this, I do want to say a huge thank you to INFINITI for delivering this big beast to us to live with for a full week here on the channel, especially a week that included my birthday. I have been living in style for my birthday, thanks to INFINITI with this vehicle. But now back to that question, does the Cadillac Escalade have anything to worry about? This thing actually really does have quite the resume behind it already. INFINITI launched it on the top of a building in New York City earlier this year, and since then it has garnered a lot of praise. They are really expecting a lot of style influencers to go after this thing, and that is really the, I don't know, the secret sauce of the Cadillac Escalade. Its style, its presence, and the influencers that surround it. The Escalade has built this mystique about it that INFINITI is now wanting to cash in on. But before we talk too much about style, while we're up front here, I do want to talk about what motivates this one because, well, it's a bit of a change or departure. Outgoing models of the QX80 used Nissan INFINITI's V8, but with the death of the Nissan Titan pickup truck, the brand is stepping away from 8 cylinders and into twin-turbocharged forced induction V6s. And yes, that means even here on this big, heavy 3-row body-on-frame SUV, this employs their new 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, making 450 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. Both of those numbers, especially the torque, absolutely eclipse the 6.2 V8 that is found in the Cadillac Escalade. That makes a measly 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. This being a new INFINITI product, uses the 9-speed automatic transmission and INFINITI's all-wheel drive, which we'll talk more about the powertrain when we get behind the wheel here in just a moment. But let's go back to that style question. This thing absolutely oozes style and charisma. It has been turning heads all week. And yes, like I said, ever since its introduction in New York City on a rooftop, this has been quite a conversation. I did get to see it earlier this year at the New York Auto Show, yes, in near production form, and the Dallas Auto Show when it was still in concept form. So Nissan and Infiniti have done a quick turnaround from the initial reveal to these being on sale. Starting up front here, we have the new corporate logo, the three-dimensional Infiniti disappearing road here in the grille. It does actually illuminate at night and it looks really cool. It is surrounded by what is supposed to be a bamboo forest grille design. And as you look at it, yes, you can kind of see it looks like bamboo swaying in the breeze, but depending on how you look at it, it can look completely closed off because as we come over here to this direction, you can't see in at all. So it is a very interesting and unique design that I really like, though some people have already commented online that it looks like the baleen face of a humpback whale. So yes, you comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this bamboo forest grille. Otherwise, we have LED running lights and turn signals really up high that accentuate the overall presence of this, the big, strong shoulders of this. And the headlights are actually down low and on the corners as well, that are just above this very massive air pass-through to help with aerodynamics of the front of this vehicle. As we pull around to the 3/4 angle, again, this thing absolutely oozes presence. It really makes a statement when it shows up. This is not even the top Autograph model. That Autograph gets dark wheels and dark trim around. This is the Sensory model. And I really like a lot of what this one offers. We'll go ahead and start here with the wheels and tires. 22-inch wheels and tires, kind of bright work look here. Silver painted aluminum wheels. I don't know that it is my favorite design. I would like to be able to see through them a little bit more, but again, a big 22-inch wheels definitely command some attention when they show up. They are 275/50 R22 Bridgestone Alenza tires, which is the same brand and model of tire that Cadillac employs on their Escalade. As we look further down the side of the vehicle, I can really say I appreciate what Infiniti does in the simplicity of not over-styling and over-designing. The side of this vehicle is very simple, very nondescript when it comes to design lines. They've kept it very sleek, very modern, and when the vehicle is locked, those door handles actually do retract into the body side, making a very sleek, very flush body side all the way around. That coupled with the very straight lines of the windows, metal accent that runs underneath the windows, it's all very classy in its approach. It's elegant without being overstyled. I like it a whole lot. You can see we get fixed in place running boards that make climbing in and out all that much easier, though this does have adaptive suspension, so when you park it, it can drop down lower than it is currently sitting to give you a better ingress egress. Going back to that whale comment up front, some commenters have mentioned something about the design back here, giving whale tail-like lines and proportions as well. But I like this kind of Doppler effect of this side-to-side LED light bar. All LED lights back here, including your turn signals. Very clean look, and much like most big luxury brands are doing, we ditched the Infiniti logo here on the rear tail of the vehicle in favor of the brand name being spelled out big and bold across the back. The rear wiper is actually back here, but it is hidden up underneath this rear spoiler, if that's what you want to call it. You can see, there it is, right up underneath there. And it just cleans up the back of the vehicle oh so well. Again, we get that brush strip that continues around from the side. I like it a lot. Very clean, very elegant. As we drop down below, you don't really see any exposed exhaust tips, though, yes, the exhaust is right back there. As we come to open it up, you can see this is where it has more in common, perhaps, with the Lexus LX than the Cadillac Escalade. Cargo space is practically non-existent back here. The Escalade has gobs more space behind the third row, but that's not to say that there is no space in here whatsoever. It's just a very unique way of packaging it. Most SUVs have big cargo numbers, but it's all vertical. And with this removable shelf here that you can see my backpack sitting on, we actually have a better use of the limited cargo space in here, just like this. So I like that a lot. The official numbers are 22 cubic feet behind the third row, 59 if you fold the third row down, 101 if you fold both second and third row seats down. That compares to the Escalade's 25.5, 72.9, and 120.5. Yes, you can see I really like how they have this tiered setup here. I wish more SUVs would offer this. A strong storage shelf for ease of use. We do have a branded soft-sided cooler here with movable places to just kind of keep it in place. These lock into place, but yes, nice strong cargo shelf. And then you can see here, we can power fold the seats down fairly quickly. I mean, they are power fold. That is one of the side effects of them. You can also fold the second row seats down from here as well, really opening up all the cargo space in here very nicely. And honestly, I don't believe the shopper of this segment of vehicle is really looking into all that much cargo space. I will say the fact that that second row seat is power folding back up is, again, something that this has over the Cadillac Escalade, because those seats just kind of fold down and then you have to manually lift them back up into place. If this cargo area is too high for you, again, with that adaptive height suspension, you have these buttons right here where you can actually drop it back down. You can see me at its highest ride height. I've got plenty of room at 5'10" underneath it. Before we climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. It is a unique and new design for Infiniti, though it has not gotten too much bulkier over the years. I do think Nissan has a slimmer key, and I just don't like big bulky keys, but it's comparable with the competition from Cadillac. In fact, I feel it's a little bit slimmer, but you've got all the necessary buttons on here. Lock, unlock, remote start, your hatch release, a panic button, and you can physically deploy a key if you want to. Though you don't need to, you can leave it in your pocket, your purse, wherever. And as you approach the vehicle, the door handles present themselves, and then you just grab on, passive entry, and open them up. And when you do, my goodness, the luxury that you are welcomed with on the inside. We'll start here on the door panel. Leather, suede, a little bit of gloss black. Not a fan of the gloss black. In fact, these buttons here for lock and unlock are almost invisible in certain lighting conditions. I think they could rethink this just a little bit, but we do have open pore wood here, ambient lighting, brushed metal work, two-person memory seat. I like all that very nicely. Coming to the seat itself, you can see multi-way positional with adjustable bolsters, lumbar, and massage. And yes, they are semi-aniline. They are very soft, very comfortable. And all the luxuries that we get here on the driver's seat, we also get on the front passenger seat, including massage, heat, ventilation, and memory seat settings. So there are two memory seat settings. We also get Clips reference Premier sound system, speakers right here, and this very uniquely styled headrest. Try and climb in. It is very easy to climb into, even in its increased ride height where it is currently sitting. No, I did not drop it down, but you've got this handle here. You can also use the steering wheel if you must, and then again, the running boards. We'll go ahead and close the door here, put my foot on the brake, and start the V6 up. And you can see it kind of comes to life here. There we go. There are animations For some reason, they're running a little slow this Monday morning. But there you go. We have two 14 plus inch screens here that I do believe would make a little bit more of a presence and be a little more impactful in the segment had Cadillac and Lincoln not just unveiled their new pillar-to-pillar screens across the front of their vehicles. This infotainment setup is very nice, but it seems like screen wars have begun in this luxury SUV segment. And well, this is now a little bit outdated, but that's not to say it is terrible. I will go ahead and say, I feel like the graphics are a little bit dated. They have been a little bit dated. I feel Nissan and Infiniti both could benefit from hiring some graphic designers to spice up their digital screens here, because when you are going to all digital screens up front, it's really important what it looks like, and that definitely defines the character and the presence of it. And we have a lot of screen real estate to talk about. So fully a customizable center section here. You can scroll through a lot of different things, though I will say it seems that we have some software gremlins in this one, because you can see manual reset. I have not reset this since we got the vehicle, and we have driven nearly a full tank of gas down, and yeah, for some reason, I will say that we are averaging about 19 mpg in our time with this from what we've seen, kind of keeping track of that over multiple different trips. But for some reason, that resets itself every single time. But there's a lot of information that you can cycle through here, including your ProPilot information. So a lot of very good information there in front of you. But the real big news here is the very large wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto section, though it does not fill up the whole screen. Very interesting that they've kind of inset it. You do still have these quick access buttons here that allow you to go to the home screen, which I really like, because I do want to talk about a very unique feature included in all INFINITI QX80s, and that is the dash cam. This, from my friends in the analyst side of the business, they say that dash cams are the #1 most sought after feature in vehicles, and this one is built right in. You can see the front camera is right here. The rear camera is the same camera feeding and supplying the rear view camera mirror. It's just flipped around and non-mirrorized right there, and you can see a very clear, crisp image, and you can manually record, or you can set it up to record in certain situations. So attempted break-ins or an accident, whatever the case may be, it will record that and have it saved on device for you. You can even take a photo. So really cool that they have built-in dash cam. You can see built-in you-know-who right here. I don't want to say its name, but it is right there. And then again, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The system itself, despite it being a little slow to wake up when I start the vehicle, has been mostly snappy for us. There was one incident when I tried to record my review yesterday, and Apple CarPlay just decided it wouldn't work. I reset my phone, I reset the vehicle, I did everything I could think of, and it just didn't want to come back on. As soon as I put the cameras away, boom, it was working again. So again, there may be some software gremlins in this particular model for us. Over my left knee, you can see we get our hatch release, some of your ADAS systems right here, including lane keeping, your auto start stop. You have auto brake hold in traffic if you want it, electronic parking brake, and some lighting controls for the additional nighttime lighting in here. Single spoke or dual spoke, depending on how you look at it. Steering wheel here with some adaptive buttons on it. These light up, kind of like what we see in Lincoln products, when necessary, and can dim when they are not. Actual buttons, like you can push them, and there are actual buttons behind them. These symbols took me a second to realize exactly what they were for. It's for controlling either this screen or this screen. So now I can control from the steering wheel here, this screen over here, though, see, again, some software gremlins seem to be in the system. You should be able to, there we go, swipe through all the different screen options here with this little roller wheel if you want to. But yes, you can also touch the screen, and there you go. Speaking of screens, we have a full screen down here for all of your comfort and convenience, including heated and ventilated seats. The seats, remember where they were set last time you had the vehicle on. So yes, really like that I have cooled seats. I even have rear cooled, heated and cooled seats in this one, and I can control that from up here as well. I can lock the rear auto climate controls or whatever the case may be. And these are also like real buttons, like you get some haptic feedback pushing around on the screen, which I kind of like. There's no accidental presses. You actually have to push it like a real button. We also get several different drive modes here with your controllable four-wheel drive system, either auto all-wheel drive or for high traction control, your adaptive height suspension right there, and then all your different drive modes. So really like the idea of this screen, though we'll get into it a little bit more while we're driving. I feel like the interior space could have been better utilized if we had just had physical controls somewhere or something. Speaking of physical controls, we have buttons for the 9-speed automatic. You can turn the auto up, down on the suspension with a push and hold right there. You get a camera button right here to access the 360 cameras, which do really use a lot of the screen real estate here. They are crisp and clear, and I like them a lot. You have multiple different camera angles that you can pan through, including seeing your front corners, seeing a big wide shot if you want, seeing you through the front of the vehicle. We'll go ahead and drive forward a little bit because eventually this will be a clear vehicle image, but you can see, yes, it is not a live feed of what is underneath the vehicle. It is remembering what we have driven over. So it's reminding me this section's not live, but it also shows me where your front tires are placed. So if you want to take your vehicle off-road, you can. Don't know that I would. And then another feature I really like and shows just how snappy the system is when you really get it up and working, this pan around 360 mode. The amount of compute power behind being able to quickly pan around the vehicle like this is very impressive. And then we've got some preset angles here, kind of like what Lexus does on their vehicles. So if you want to see it from certain angles, you can do that there. So lots of camera angles. I really do like that. But I feel like this screen with all the gloss black and the fingerprints and the dust that we're seeing, again, could have been better utilized for space up here. They could have tucked it up a little bit because there's no storage space right here. There is this little panel here for a Qi wireless charger. We've got a couple USB-C ports in here. This wireless charger has done a fair job of keeping my iPhone 16 Pro Max charged, but it is a phone heater, so it will warm your phone up, especially if you leave it closed. But I do like this idea of hiding your phone underneath a cover and allowing it to charge while also syncing to CarPlay and the like. Out of sight, out of mind helps keep your attention on the road where it should be. Underneath here, we have a couple of cup holders. Underneath here, we've got a little bit of storage with felt, so you don't have to worry about stuff rattling around in here. But I feel like this is so far back, again, because this is here. I don't know, the placement of all of this just seems like it's very far back. We do, because of the electronic buttons for the 9-speed, have some storage underneath here. That's where we store our go bag that we take from vehicle to vehicle. So there is a little bit of open storage down here. We get some storage in the decently sized glove box. You can see it's stamped. It is lined with felt. So you don't have to worry about rattles coming from in there. Again, the seats, very comfortable. You can see me, 5'10". I've got plenty of headroom, even with this large panoramic sunroof. And this is a dual stage roller cover. So you can see it stops on the front section, and then you hit it again, it goes back to the back section. That's the same with closing it. It will stop midway to let you just leave light up here in front of you. But yes, plenty of headroom for me up here at 5'10". I am quite comfortable up here, no complaints. These seats are very comfortable. We've put a lot of seat time in them, but we'll go ahead now and pop out of the front seat and check out the back two rows. can also see now that the vehicle has lowered itself, and yes, it is sitting much lower than before, making it very easy to climb in and out of it. But it gives this a little bit more of a minivan-like vibe, especially with those smooth sides. I don't know. It definitely benefits from sitting up higher. Coming back to the back doors though, all the same materials, the suede, the gloss black, the leather, the wood, the ambient lighting back here on the back doors, and we get power second row seats. Here they are still nice and comfortable and soft. We get lower latch points for putting in child safety seats. If you want to see us put that one in, absolutely hit subscribe. Follow along because our next video will feature Holly behind the wheel and Tucker in his car seat, where I also show you how easy it is to install said car seat. Sitting behind myself, I have got gobs of space sitting back here in the second row. I get some storage on the back of the front seats. I get tri-zone climate controls back on the back of the center console with heated and ventilated second row captain's chairs. I don't believe Escalade offers ventilated second row yet. That is a complete oversight from the sales leader, so I really like that a lot. 2 USB-C ports and a cigarette lighter style port right there. No household style plugs back here at all, which I do feel is a little bit of a miss, but we don't have any entertainment screens back here, so it's not like you're going to be plugging a PlayStation in or anything like that. Little baby center console here with a couple of cup holders, soft spot for phone storage with 2 USB-C ports, so we've got lots of USB-C ports back here. Armrests that fold down and lock into place make for a very comfortable sitting position, but here at 5'10", you can see I'm a little bit closer to the ceiling, so be aware of second row seating positions. I can't put this seat down any. This is where I sit, but I can recline it some if I wanted to. So there is that option. Other things I like back here are air vents in the ceiling. It's blowing right on my face, keeping me nice and cool, which again works very nicely for car seats, especially rear-facing car seats. I think it's in a perfect position for a rear-facing car seat, though we don't get any sunshades built into the very thin doors here. Cadillac doesn't offer it because, again, I think they're prioritizing interior space, making these door panels very thin, so there's no place to like hide all that roller shade mechanism. Now for something I'm very excited that again, these second row seats absolutely slay the Escalade when it comes to luxurious comfort and options. And this is a feature that again puts the Escalade to shame. To get into the third row of the Escalade, you had to tilt and fold and tumble that seat forward. Here we have a power slide function that does still work even with a child seat in place. So I could even do this over on Tucker's side. Obviously it wouldn't scoot as far forward to the driver's seat, but you can see just how much room it gives me now to climb into the adult-friendly third row seat back here. We'll go ahead and call out, you do need to pop these headrests up in order to sit back here because of their shape and design. Yes, now my head is touching the ceiling, so I've steadily crept up the further back I've gotten here, and it is a little bit on the tight side, though, as I showed you before, it is a power third row seat, so I can recline just a little bit, even with that shelf back there, but again, I'm kind of encroaching on very limited space back there. But now I'm a little bit more comfortable, but yes, there's limited headspace back here. And again, I'm 5'10", I'm the average American male. It's a little bit on the tight side, so this will probably be more for your teenagers that haven't hit their growth spurt yet, or some kids. We do get some luxuries back here, like a couple of cup holders and a USB-C power port, and air vents. So we still get air vents back here in the third row, and 3 across seating. So I mentioned the Lexus LX earlier. It's third row. It's terrible. It's got 2 little single jump seat like seats down here. This is actually a 3-person usable third row seat. Though you can see the middle seat is a little narrow. The seat belt is up here in the ceiling. We do have lower latch points over here on the passenger side, but only on the passenger side. So if you're putting a child seat back here anywhere else, you are going to be using the seat belt method to install a child seat. But that's okay because we do have top tethers all the way across. Now coming and sitting behind Tucker's seat all the way back, I've still got enough room that my legs are not touching. So this is a very usable back seat, though headroom is really the area of most concern for me back here. Not so much leg room. I'm very comfortable. My knees aren't up underneath my chin. And then with the power recline feature, yeah, I can make myself fairly comfortable. But now let's hop behind the wheel, see how this thing drives, and I'll walk you through a few more of my complaints about this vehicle. Hopping behind the wheel of this one, I thoroughly enjoy how this one drives. It's a big, luxurious body-on-frame SUV, and the power of that twin-turbo V6 doesn't leave anything to be desired. It is strong and will pull. So I'm not really worried about the power of it. We'll go ahead and give it a little acceleration here. I'm more or less concerned with the sound of it. It sounds fine in here, but out there, it doesn't really match the overall presence of this vehicle. It sounds like a small V6. It sounds big and powerful inside the vehicle. Now I have brought this to a slightly different place to test it on road than I normally do, because I feel like this is the area of town where you'll see a bunch of these. In fact, I do see a bunch of these here in East Texas. These are a very popular choice in the big three-row luxury SUV segment. I'm actually kind of blown away by how many of these I see, given the fact that we don't have a dealership within an hour's drive of Tyler here. So the fact that there are so many of these and you have to drive to go get them is saying a lot about the appeal of the outgoing model. And I think this one looks even better. So yes, there is definitely some strong appeal for this vehicle. But as we are driving now on the historic brick streets of downtown Tyler, Texas, I do have to bring up my biggest complaint about this vehicle, and that's the build quality. Again, I've mentioned this is a $107,000 vehicle as this one is spec'd, and I'm getting some rattles and noises I don't like. Some very not premium, luxurious touches. Yeah, look. It's a little disheartening, and I can say that if I had just paid $107,000 for this vehicle for myself, I would be a little upset with whatever this noise is going on up here. Now, that could just be a build quality issue with this particular model. I get that, but some other issues I have is just how much noise this makes. I've already let you know some of my complaints of the styling and how much space this takes up, but I'm getting some creaking and rattling from this as well, and it's just unfortunate that this doesn't quite work in reality when you get these out on the road. All this aside though, driving it, I have really enjoyed it. It is big, it is powerful, it is responsive, it goes where I want it to, when I want it to. I don't have to beg for the transmission to downshift, though I could put this in manual mode and use these plastic paddles on the back of the steering wheel. And I can say, accidentally speaking, that it will hold the gears for you if you put it in manual mode. So, sporty driving, but I'd say the real sporty driving vehicle in this segment is the Escalade V, which does cost quite a bit more than this as well. So there's that. But ride quality on this with the adaptive suspension is really good. It is very comfortable. It's a truck-based SUV, you can't deny that, but it does a lot to smooth out all the imperfections in the pavement below you. I'd say it is a very comfortable ride all the way around. Really, my only major complaints with this SUV, hands down, sound of the engine from the outside, not the power, not the sound here on the inside, the rattling center console screen area up here, and the price. Though that price does lend you an air of exclusivity, it is very competitive with Escalades and Navigators of the world, and does kind of undercut the Lexus LX just a bit. But coming from a brand with Nissan and Infiniti's current financial woes, I don't know, are people really spending and shopping this level of luxury from a vehicle that is currently in flux, that we don't know the future of? I don't know, but that will lend to a lot of these on the secondary market, something that I know, anecdotally speaking, my parents' neighbors are waiting on. They absolutely drooled over this, but given some of my concerns, they said they're going to wait before they hop in and purchase one right away, which may be your case as well. I don't know. There is a lot of promise with this platform, with this vehicle outright. It shares a platform with the global Nissan Patrol. The upcoming Nissan Armada rides on this platform. There's a lot of shared technology. They will work out these details, but this is definitely the style king of those two vehicles. And from a style perspective, I think this absolutely does give an Escalade a run for its money, at least on the outside. The interior IP is a little dated now thanks to the pillar-to-pillar screen real estate we're getting from the 25 Escalade. There's a lot to be said on whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, this is competitive and gives a solid option to the Cadillac Escalades and Lincoln Navigators of the world. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, including our family review with Holly behind the wheel, Tucker back in his car seat, absolutely hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media platforms where you can read a little bit more about these, including all my notes in the descriptions below. But Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com where you'll find links to all that we do, including our award-winning podcast. But as for me, behind the wheel of the new 2025 INFINITI QX80 with its twin-turbo V6, that is plenty strong. Until next time, gearheads. Bye. Power is not what I'm concerned with on this engine. Do not be concerned with power on this. Be concerned with whatever that is. That's annoying.